Hey everybody, this is really uncomfortable because I'm filming in the airport right now. I'm in Florida, but Barcelona just won, and I wanted to do a little brief overview of the game for those of you that may have not been able to watch it. The game started off a little weird. Positioning was a little different than we're used to. Christensen was out. We also had Araujo out, so it was just a little awkward. Gundo and Sergi started as the deeper lying midfielders, and they rotated with going up and one staying back. They both had pretty solid games overall. And then Fermin Lopez started and Roque started as well. Both of them were kind of playing as second strikers right up with Lewandowski. They tended to be the highest players, while Lewandowski kind of dropped short and let them put pressure on the defenders. And it seemed to work okay in the beginning. It was a weird formation that they weren't really used to. They were trying to play the same way, but they just weren't that organized that well. And so you could tell in the beginning of it, they were still just feeling each other out and figuring out how to play together, if that makes sense. And there were some good sparks. Raphinha scored a goal that was then ruled offside, and then proceeded to get red carded. Or was that the right order? That was the order that happened. It was kind of crazy. But that changed when the goalkeeper got red carded. Someone had to come off, and Sandro up top just had no support the entire game. I think if that hadn't happened, Barcelona would have struggled a little bit more at the back. They still weren't amazing, but I think they just compressed a lot, and that changed the way Barca were playing. They were beginning to gain momentum against Las Palmas in the way that they were playing, and then everything changed, and they, were very clearly a little bit, just didn't have the flow of it after that, going into the rest of the first half. Then the second half came, and again they were building it up. They were creating pretty well and moving around. Okay, created some chances, really didn't concede many for the vast majority of it. Raphinha had a really good game though, and they ended up having a breakthrough where João Felix came on. They created something there, and Felix was pretty solid today. Obviously, he missed a glaring chance there too. There was a sitter right in front of net that he just blasted against the bar. It did bobble a little bit right in front of his foot, but you got to make that still. No, I don't care what happens. After that, there was a chance they conceded to Las Palmas where Alberto Molero, I believe, he's very good at football, and he had a little bit of a chance, but Ter Stegen, or I think it rattled the outside of the net. So we got a little lucky there, but overall I think we were able to gain our footing pretty well. And even though defensively we didn't have a strong pivot or Araujo we were able to figure it all out. Even Sergio Roberto also had a very good game. I want to highlight just a few players. Gundo was fine. I'm not upset with him because we've seen this season that he's not perfect as that deeper line midfielder, but I really didn't see any, stellar flaws in his game. But he also wasn't creatively genius for the most part, but he was very solid on the ball. Not upset with him. Joao Cancelo was very exciting today, but I do want to focus on Kubarsi. Again, the guy was a rock. He made one mistake, I want to say, with a header back to Ter Stegen, but it was ruled offside, so it didn't really have to. It didn't matter. Ter Stegen made a save anyway, so there was no goal coming from it. The kid was fantastic yet again, and at 17 years old, the announcers were raving about him for very good reason. Again, Raphinha had a great game. I think Robert Lewandowski had a really solid game, being in the right position. They didn't find him perfectly, but I think he filled the position pretty well and did a solid job. Lamine Yamal wasn't as incredible today, but I think a little bit of that was just they were focusing a lot on him defensively, and that actually opened up a lot of spot for Koundé to create, and Koundé did fantastic. He really did. They're talking about my foot. But I was pretty happy with everybody in the forward line, and Koundé helped create a decent amount. He had a couple threatening balls in there and really good runs. He tends to work really well over there with Lamine, but also with Gundo. Gundo links up well with the two of them, and it looked pretty good today. Again, this is a very good performance from the side, and I'm beginning to gain a lot of confidence. This was not a B team by any means, but they were able to figure it out a little bit, and that's really big for us, that we were able to play pretty solidly against a decent side, even though they got a red card, and create chances and end up scoring and win the game. That's big for us, and I think it's good momentum moving forward. A lot of strategic yellow cards there too. I'm very proud of Lewandowski and Cancelo there to get the yellow card, so they missed Cadiz instead of risking their chances against in the El Clasico. It would have been a little bit more problematic if they had missed El Clasico, obviously. But they're going to be there for that game, and that's huge for us. For me, was good. I think he again had some really good runs in the first half. some weird passes. I want to say there was one or two passes in the very beginning of the game where he kind of struggled to get into it, but I'm not that upset with him. I think he created a decent amount of chaos, and then when Roque came in, he had a ton of energy, and that's good, and he actually came in the striker position, but Ferran Torres was also on the pitch, so they were kind of sharing the responsibilities of that role, and I thought both of them did well. It was hard. We didn't create a ton of great chances there for either one of them, but Roque put a lot of pressure on the defensive lines and create some chaos like he always does. And I got nothing to complain about. Like we got Paisley for those of you that want to see. Paisley, he's solid, and Ter Stegen's okay. Didn't really need him much today. Didn't make incredible saves or anything, but again was decent with his ball movement at the back. And I think another thing to focus on today is that the ball moved very quickly. We were able to be pretty good with that, even when Felix came on. I'm not the biggest proponent of his. I haven't been that proud of him so far this season, and I think he had a good game today. And so that's good. I think he linked up really well with Raphinha, and obviously I think he would also do the same with Fermin Lopez, even though they kind of both play on the left. Raphinha and Fermin are pretty similar players with the runs they make, but Raphinha had a hell of a game, and he's probably my man of the match. Him and Kubarsi were great. Sergio Roberto was also really good. A good strategic yellow card from him to stop a counterattack. And sorry, I'm petting Paisley, but I'm happy with the side again. You're probably gonna see a weird thumbnail of me in the airport today, but we won again, and that's great. And you guys should be happy about that. I'm not gonna make this go 8 minutes, but if you've been, if I've been hard to access, that's because I've been on vacation. But videos back to normal and everything from now on, and we got a few exciting projects coming up for you. So. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your weekend, guys. We won. Vamos, Visca Barca. Peace, everybody.